Picture this, you're dragging yourself through Dallas-Fort Worth Airport at 5 a.m. after a red-eye flight, exhausted, hungry, and facing a 4-hour layover. Your toddler is melting down, you desperately need a cup of coffee, and the thought of camping out at your gate is making you want to cry. But wait, there's a door marked with a small USO logo just around the corner. You walk through it, and suddenly you're in a completely different world. Comfortable recliners, free snacks, Wi-Fi that actually works, a play area where your kid can burn off energy, and volunteers greeting you with genuine smiles. The best part? It's totally free for you and your family. If you've never heard of USO airport lounges, you're not alone. Even seasoned service members sometimes walk right past these hidden oases without realizing they even exist. So let's pull back the curtain on one of the military's best-kept travel secrets. First things first, what even is the USO? The United Service Organizations has been around since 1941. Yeah, we're talking World War II era, when President Franklin Roosevelt brought together 6 civilian service groups to boost morale for troops. Fast forward to today, and the USO operates over 250 locations worldwide, with about 50 of those being airport lounges scattered across major hubs and smaller regional airports in the United States and abroad. Now, here's what makes these lounges absolutely brilliant. They're specifically designed for currently serving military members and their families who are traveling. Not luxury, not fancy, just genuinely useful and incredibly welcoming. So, who can use them? Active duty service members, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, Coast Guard, you're in. Reserve and National Guard members? Absolutely. Your spouse and kids? They're welcome too, even if you're not with them. Here's the important part. You need to be traveling that day. That means you'll need to bring your military ID and proof of same-day travel, typically your boarding pass, mobile boarding pass, flight itinerary. And before you ask, no, you do not need to be in uniform. Whether you're traveling on orders, heading home on leave, or taking your family to Disney World, you can show up in jeans and a t-shirt. Your military ID is your golden ticket. Now, there's been a policy update as of January 2025 that's worth knowing. Veterans and military retirees are no longer guaranteed access to USO airport lounges. This was a tough call for the organization, but here's their reasoning. USO airport lounges are relatively small because airports donate the space for free, and they simply don't have the capacity to serve everyone. Some locations may allow retirees on a space available basis when it's not too busy, but the priority goes to currently serving members. Think of it like space A travel. Active duty gets priority. Now, let's talk about what you'll actually find inside. Every USO lounge is a little different because they're run by dedicated volunteers and the space varies by location. But here's what's typical. Comfortable seating with recliners or couches. Flat screen TVs, usually playing news or sports. Free Wi-Fi, that's often better than the airport's public network. Charging stations everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Computers with CAC readers at many locations. Video game consoles. Children's play areas with toys and books, magazines and newspapers, and the real MVP? Free food and drinks. Now, when I say food, let's manage expectations. This isn't American Express Centurion Lounge with chef-prepared meals and top-shelf liquor. We're talking about coffee, always coffee. Soft drinks, water, prepackaged snacks like chips and candy bars, sometimes cookies or pastries, and many locations get donated food from local businesses. The Denver USO, for example, frequently has sandwiches and pizza delivered. Some lounges have full snack bars. The Charlotte USO has become legendary for its snack setup. It really depends on the location and what corporate partners are supporting that specific lounge. Several locations have showers, absolute game changers for those long international flights or when you're coming back from deployment. Some have family rooms for nursing mothers or families who need a quieter space. A few even have outdoor patios where you can catch some fresh air. And almost all have luggage storage areas so you can stash your bags and move around freely. Here's a real-world scenario. Imagine you're a young Marine traveling from Camp Pendleton to North Carolina for a friend's wedding. You've got a 6-hour layover in Dallas. You could spend $15 on airport food, fight for an outlet at your gate, and try to sleep in those awful terminal chairs. Or you could hit up the DFW USO Lounge, grab some free snacks and coffee, sink into a recliner in their darkened nap room, charge all of your devices, maybe play some Xbox to kill time, and actually arrive at your next flight refreshed instead of miserable with $0 spent. Or let's say you're a Navy spouse traveling solo with 2 kids under 5. Your sailor is deployed, you're flying to visit family, and you've got a layover. Your toddler is losing it. You can take them to the USO Lounge where there are toys, games, and other military families who get it, and volunteers who will actually help entertain your kids while you decompress for a minute. Plus, you can change diapers in a clean private space, grab some juice, and let your kids run around safely instead of worrying about them bolting through a crowded terminal. Now, let's talk timing and logistics. Some USO lounges are located before TSA security checkpoints. These are called landside locations. Others are after security in the secure area, airside locations. This matters because if your lounge is landside and you need to catch a flight, you still need to go through security. Always check the location when you're planning to visit. The USO website has a location finder where you can search by airport and see exactly where each lounge is, which terminal, what level, and whether it's pre or post security. Hours vary significantly. Some USO lounges are 24/7, 365 days a year. These are typically at major hubs with high military traffic. Others might be open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. or have reduced weekend hours. The Salt Lake City USO is 24/7. The Phoenix Sky Harbor location closes at 7 p.m. Always check before you travel so you don't show up to a closed door. Here's a question people always have. Can you use the lounge after your flight lands? The answer is yes, sort of. You need same-day travel. So if you've just landed and you have a connecting flight later that day, absolutely. If you land at your final destination and just want to hang out, most lounges will still let you in because you're traveling that day. Want to decompress before heading out, change clothes, feed your baby, make some phone calls, or just escape the chaos? Go for it. Some service members have reported using the lounge after landing, taking a shower, changing into fresh clothes, and then heading to their next destination, feeling human again. During layovers, USO lounges are your best friend. There's no strict time limit. But these aren't designed for all-day camping. If your layover is 4 hours, you can definitely spend most of the time in the lounge. If it's 45 minutes, you might want to think twice about going through the hassle of finding it. Use common sense. During peak travel times, think Thanksgiving, Christmas, summer, PCS season, lounges can fill up quickly. Active duty members and their families always have priority. So if capacity is reached, guests or space available visitors might be asked to leave to make room. Some USO lounges get absolutely slammed during certain times. The BWI lounge, for example, serves a massive volume of military personnel traveling to and from duty stations in Europe and Southwest Asia. The Seattle-Tacoma USO sees heavy traffic because of military flights to Asia. If you're traveling during a major military movement period, expect crowds. Let me share a story that perfectly captures the USO magic. A Space Force spouse wrote about traveling through Destin-Fort Walton Beach Airport. She had spent 4 hours on the Nashville USO during a layover, then landed in Destin emotionally drained. Her mom had just been hospitalized. She found the USO lounge and met a volunteer named Larry Wager, an Air Force veteran who'd been volunteering there for years. They talked, he listened, he shared local restaurant recommendations and his own military experiences. When she returned to the airport days later for her flight home, Larry was there again, greeting her like an old friend. That's the USO in action. It's not just about recliners and free coffee. It's about connection and support when you're far from home. Here's something important. USO lounges don't cost you anything, but they operate on donations and volunteer support. These aren't government-funded facilities. They're nonprofits relying on corporate sponsors and individual donations. Most lounges have a donation box near the entrance. If you can spare a few bucks, even $5 or $10, it genuinely helps. Some service members make it a habit to leave whatever cash they would have spent on airport food. Others can't afford to donate, and that's completely fine. The service is free, period. But if you're able, pay it forward. Volunteers are the heart of the USO. These folks, often military spouses, veterans, or just community members who want to give back, work the front desk, restock snacks, clean up, organize activities for kids, and provide that welcoming presence that makes the whole experience special. Many locations have wait lists thousands of people long because so many want to volunteer. If you're ever stationed somewhere near a USO location and have time, consider volunteering. It's an incredible way to serve your community. A few more practical tips. Don't assume every airport has a USO lounge. Check before you travel. If you're flying through Atlanta, Dallas, Fort Worth, Denver, Phoenix, San Diego, or other major hubs, you're almost guaranteed to have one. Smaller regional airports might not. There are currently 48 USO lounges at commercial airports in the United States, plus additional locations on military installations. So, if you're traveling internationally, USO lounges exist at airports in places like Kuwait, Germany, Japan, and South Korea. These overseas locations often have expanded services because they're supporting service members who are deployed or on assignments far from home. Some military folks don't use the USO because they assume it's only for people in uniform or on orders. Wrong. Your family vacation counts. Your emergency leave travel counts. Your permissive TDY counts. If you're active duty, reserve, or guard, and you're traveling that day, you're eligible. Can you bring a non-military guest? It depends. If you're traveling with your civilian friend who's not a family member, policies vary by location. Most USO centers focus on service members and their immediate families, spouses, and children. Some locations may allow you to bring a guest if there's space, but don't count on it. The priority is always military members and their dependents. What if there's no USO lounge at your airport? Don't despair. Many airlines have their own policies for military members. United allows active duty members in uniform to access United Club lounges if they're on leave or R&R with same-day travel on United or United Express. American Airlines allows military personnel in uniform to enter Admirals Club lounges with same-day American Airlines travel. Alaska Airlines has policies for military on official government orders, but these usually require you to be in uniform and have documentation, so it's more restrictive than the USO, but it's an option. Also, if you have certain credit cards with annual fees, many of those fees are waived for active duty military under the Service Members Civil Relief Act. Cards like the Chase Sapphire Reserve or American Express Platinum give you access to Priority Pass lounges or Centurion lounges. If you're active duty with fee-waived premium cards, you can combine that with USO access for maximum travel comfort. Let's address a common misconception. You do not need to tell the USO why you're traveling or provide your orders. Your military ID and boarding pass are all you need. Whether you're PCSing, deploying, on leave, or headed to a friend's bachelor party, it doesn't matter. You're traveling, you're military, you're in. The atmosphere in USO lounges varies, but generally skews towards calm and supportive. You'll see people sleeping in recliners, families with kids running around the play area, service members video chatting with loved ones back home, people working on laptops, and folks just decompressing. It's not a party atmosphere, but it's also not stuffy or formal. Think of it as the living room you wish the airport had. One more thing that's absolutely worth mentioning. USO volunteers are incredible at helping during emergencies. Stranded due to weather? They've been known to keep locations open past normal hours. Flight canceled and you're stuck overnight? They might help you find resources or just provide a safe, comfortable place to wait. Family emergency and you need to make urgent arrangements? They've helped service members get connected to the right resources. The volunteers aren't just there to hand out snacks. They genuinely care about supporting the military community. So, here's the bottom line. If you're active duty, reserve, or guard, and you're traveling through an airport with a USO lounge, use it. Even if you're only there for an hour, even if you just need to charge your phone and grab a coffee, even if you're not sure you qualify, you do. It's there for you. The volunteers want to see you. The space is designed for exactly this moment. Before your next trip, take 5 minutes to search USO Lounge, plus your airport code. Bookmark the location, add it to your travel notes, and when you get to the airport, find the door with the small USO logo. Walk through it and let yourself breathe. After years of serving your country, taking advantage of this benefit isn't taking anything away from anyone else. It's accepting the support that's been built specifically for you and your family. The USO isn't glamorous, but it's genuine. And in the chaos of modern air travel, that's worth its weight in gold.